Hey guys, Xandiel here. So I'm here today to talk to you about a couple of things. By things, I mean one thing in particular. Now, a lot of you might know, a lot of you might not know, but I have epilepsy, and it has, of course, affected me throughout my life, and I'm here today to share the story of my experiences with it. God, where do I begin? I'm going to keep this video as PG as I possibly can, but that might take away from the effects of some of the things I've experienced. Some of it's pretty haunting, but anyway, there's a lot to go through. Let's just dive straight in. So I guess the first experience would be when I was, I believe I was 3 years old. My parents found that I was having a seizure as a 3-year-old, which obviously is very scary for any parent. You know, seeing their baby boy seizing in a bed and not knowing what it is. You know, if this was the first time it had happened, they rushed me to hospital, and you know, they were very upset, and the doctor said, look, you know, your baby boy, we suspect he has epilepsy. We'll give you this course of treatment, see if it controls it. And for many years it did. Cut to a few years on, when I was 6, I believe. These years, the ages might be a bit off. I don't really remember it that clearly. I was playing Sonic Adventure, no, not Sonic Adventure, Sonic games, the original Mega Drive Sonic games with my brothers quite a lot. And, sorry, I was playing Sonic with my brothers, and apparently I just zombied out. Like, the lights were on, but no one was home. So to me, the best way to put this is what I call absences. So what would happen is, to me, it would be like blinking and being somewhere else. You blink right now, how quick that is. Very disorientating to be looking at a webcam and like a split second, less than that, I'd be down the road looking at some house or something. So I was playing Sonic with my brothers, and next thing I know, I'm halfway out the front door, and my parents are all around me, and they're like, Dan, what's happening? What's happening? Where are you going? And I'm like, Mom, like, I wasn't in any pain. I was just extremely confused. Of course, through this explanation, you could probably understand why that would be a bit disorientating to anyone of any age. So that was it. I went to the doctors, and my mum and dad decided, through the doctor's advice, that video games may be a cause for that, might have been a trigger. So it's kind of like a photosensitive thing. Back in the old days, games were a bit flashy, so they suspected that that could be a reason for the epilepsy. It would trigger me to go into these absences or seizures. So I didn't play video games for about 3 years after that. And as you can probably imagine, I got into outside sports. So I played a lot of football, or soccer as you Americans and Canadians call it. You know, I was out every day, loving life. I didn't play any video games, which may have affected some things later in life, but I wasn't allowed to go to any discos, no dances. Night clubbing became terrifying to me. But the real horror kind of came the following year. So a few things happened. I was walking with my mum to do some shopping, and on the way back I had another absence, so I walked out into traffic apparently. Obviously I don't remember. To me, I was looking through the shop window. I remember it. I was looking at the Sonic the comic. I didn't even want it. I just saw it. I saw it. I looked at it. I noticed it. Next thing I know, my mum's like crying. She's in front of me, and I'm somewhere else. And she's like, "What? Why? You know?" I think she knew, but she was just so shocked that she had to ask. And she was just like, "What? What just happened? What just happened?" Now I know what you're thinking. I have a absence when I'm playing Sonic. I almost walk into traffic when I'm looking at Sonic the comic. No, Sonic is not a trigger for me. Sonic is fine. Sonic is not the reason for all my problems. It's just not, okay? Before you say it, it's not. Sonic is not out to get me. I played plenty of Sonic games in the future, and I was fine. Anyway, carry on with the story, Xan. Now here's where it gets a bit creepy. The last thing I remember in those panicky moments, and you know, it might have just been the shock of it causing these images in my head, but I told my mum I saw a monster, and it told me to walk into the road, and I still remember the monster, the look of it. It was this shadowy thing with horns, and had a really wobbly face. It was weird. Like, I'm sorry if this is creeping you out, guys, but this is my truth. This is what I remember. Like I said, it could have been a state of confusion and shock that spawned these images in the mind of a child. It's definitely possible. I choose to believe that. I do not believe that a monster made me do it. So I went to the doctors, and this is why my mum gets mad in a minute. So I get to the doctors. My mum's like, right, straight to the doctors, Dan. I'm like, yep, no, that's fair enough. Yep. So we walk straight around to the doctors. My mum basically demands an immediate meeting with the doctor. Fair enough. Obviously, her son's seeing monsters that are telling her to walk into the road. So, of course, you would. So I'm with the doctors. I'm looking out the window. I remember this very clearly. I was looking out the window, and I saw a mum walking along with a little girl. We're up on the second floor. I was just looking out the window. I blink, and there's the doctor. He's in my face, and he's like got one of those lights, and he's shining it in my eyes. And my mum's crying again. She's very upset. Do not blame her again. Brilliant mum. I couldn't have asked for a better mum. I can't ask for a better mum. She's still around, so she's brilliant. But then the doctor, in my confusion, sits me down and starts praying for my soul. Yeah. Starts praying for my soul. Legit, not making this up. He starts praying for my soul. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something to the effect of expelling the demons from within Daniel. This guy. So, not the best medical advice. And it didn't work. Because there's more. My mum was very mad at that because she went there for medical advice. She's very scared. It happens. Doctor's first reaction is pray for my soul, not offer medical counsel. Now, my family isn't very religious, so you can imagine my mother's frustration. I certainly do, because, you know, it didn't really serve in helping me there and then. To some faiths, I'm sure it would, but anyway, that's a whole other kettle of fish. Whatever. Okay, so the doctor doesn't really do anything. He tells me to go to the hospital because this is out of their scope. I need an MRI and all that stuff, so I go to the hospital. I get an MRI. Next day I'm waiting to queue back up to go into school. So when lunch and break end in middle school here, you have to line up, your classes line up, you know, you line in your line. I'm lining up, blink, I'm in the middle of a classroom that isn't mine with all the other kids staring at me, shaking me to wake me up. And apparently, when I was walking in zombie mode, I pushed a kid down and punched another kid. So Demon Dan, apparently. So things are getting really scary. My mum's immediately called to the school. I go to the doctors. I go to the hospital again. MRI results aren't there. Can we do anything? No, you know, we need these results. We can take a blood test. Deadly afraid of needles. Love that. I go home. And nothing really happens for a little while. I get the MRI results and they want to keep me overnight. I don't know the specifics, but basically I was kept there overnight. My mum and dad were very upset. I remember that. I remember hearing stories I won't go into, but they were very scared, very upset, and you know, it breaks my heart that I would cause this. Firstborn son in my family, by the way. No religious context there, but obviously I'm the firstborn child. Things aren't going well. Everything else is going well, but apparently I'm a demon child with epilepsy. So brilliant, great, I love that. So I start losing sleep a lot. I can't sleep, and I have another seizure. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever had a seizure or know what one is, but the body convulses in ways that it shouldn't. It's like some Exorcist style stuff. Like your body just goes into spasms, things are going out, things are moving the way, not the way they should, and every time I wake up from a seizure, basically my whole body hurts. I can't move. I can't. Like, everything hurts. So, you know, as a child, waking up unable to move sucks. Especially now that I'm not able to play any games. My whole life is outside, my friends are outside, they can come in, but I can't play games. So all I can do is chat and watch a bit of TV. Very dark times growing up. But then the MRI things come back. I'm on pills for a little while. I take it for about a year and a half, and everything's fine. And no more seizures. Now, later in life, I get to about, it must have been 21. So very much further into the future. I've got my first real girlfriend. I know I'm a late bloomer, right? I was too busy playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you see. And I basically, at this point, I've kind of forgotten I've even got epilepsy. It's gone, you know. It's a thing of the past. It's something that happened to me as a kid. I stopped taking the pills. Nothing's happened. And you do kind of forget. I know maybe that's silly of me. Maybe that's, you know, irresponsible of me. But I told her that I used to have it, but it wasn't really an issue anymore. So one night, I wake up. I remember someone being at the end of the bed. I was staying at my girlfriend at the times. Then I remember paramedics coming into her bedroom. Then I remember being handled down the stairs. And then I remember being in an ambulance. And then I wake up. And I call my girlfriend, and she's crying because she thought I died in bed, understandably. And everything's just going crazy. Like, I can't move, but mentally I feel fine. You know, nothing's happened to me as far as I'm concerned. But everyone else, well, my girlfriend at the time has obviously seen this horrific horror show. Something like The Exorcist, apparently. Just horrible. No one should, you know, have to see that happen to someone that they love. And yeah, it was nasty stuff, guys. Really nasty. And then, yeah. So after that, I'm put on pills, and the side effects of the pills, a little bit of drowsiness. It takes a lot of time to get used to them, and kind of mixing the dosages to find out what one's best for me, downing the dosage as much as possible. And that was 7 years ago, and I'm still on those pills to this day. Every morning, every evening, I take them, and I have had maybe 3 seizures in that time. Nowhere, probably not, I don't know, like, they're seizures, they hurt. They just hurt. There's no surefire way of stopping this. So it does happen, but not very frequently. I am very fortunate. There are a lot of epileptics out there that suffer from this daily. I am definitely on the good end of the spectrum. I am fine, really. But I do have it, and it's something that I've lived with, something that people around me have had to live with. My wife, who I have now, I have had 2, maybe 3 seizures in a bed with her. She has woken up and I can't move and I can't go to work, and that obviously affects the income of our family. So paying rent and stuff like that has been a challenge in the past. It's not a general rule of thumb. I'm not saying that I can't pay rent or anything, but obviously, you know, you miss a day of work, you miss 2 days of work, you miss 3 days of work. regaining any kind of movement after that without it hurting so damn much takes a little while. And my wife is fantastic. I told her about it, and she's been an absolute hero to me. Everyone who's ever experienced it has been very supportive to me, and no one judges me for it at all. Not that they would, but they're not scared of me or anything like that. So I thank them for that. And regarding the absences, I don't have those anymore. I read up on it, and apparently you can grow out of it later on in life. Is something that younger people suffer from. Now, I've not researched it to the point that I'm an expert, but I did read that, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm not gonna zombie out anymore or anything, because the idea of that is quite scary. If I pushed a kid and punched another kid, I have no recollection of it, and I went wandering off somewhere or tried to wander into the road, who knows what could happen. It's a scary thought. And I've skipped parts of the story. I've gone for MRIs, blah 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 blah. One MRI came back saying I was fine. I was like, really? But that's life. We all suffer with things. We all have our burdens. I'm definitely luckier than some. I'm still here. I have people that support me. And on the spectrum of epilepsy, I'm pretty low. I have done some work for Epilepsy Action in the past. Part of my university project was to create a video for them. Never did quite get done, but I did support them financially for a few years. And yeah, that's my story, guys. That's the story of Xan's epilepsy throughout his life. I mean, this has been quite a serious, real video, so there probably won't be that much editing, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I kind of took a step away from letting you guys learn a bit more about me, so I hope that this video kind of gets you back into that, learning a bit more about me and the things that I've been through, that have shaped me into the man I am today. Life's too short, guys. Life's too short. And with that, I'm gonna go. If you like this kind of video, I can definitely make more. I could do a draw my life, or talk about certain aspects. If there's certain parts of life, certain bits of advice from my experience, just comment below or let me know your thoughts on all this. If it's about me being a demon, I'm not a demon. That doctor got it out. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this somewhat serious video and learn a little bit more about me. Sorry it was really long, but that's my life. What are you gonna do, eh? What are you gonna do? Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and peace. Xandiel punch.